Here,
Do it.
Here for you, Kay. Let's do it.
Go for it,
Bring
Sean.
it. Bring it.
Sean
I missed.
didn't do it. Sean didn't do it.
In solidarity.
He didn't even do it.
It's coffee. I had water. It's okay. We're people on TV, they're just like you. Leaving your house in the morning, spilling coffee and water all over themselves. Who cares? It's time for Lee Block.
Lee Block. Lee Block.
And this, of course, somehow segues into what is a wet spot over the beautiful orange t-shirt that is the Green Bay Packers tapestry. All right, we've been waiting for weeks, for months to hear from Aaron Rodgers about his standoff with the Packers. The reigning MVP did appear late last night on ESPN. We talked about it going into it. What did we want to hear? Well, here's just a snippet of what Rodgers had to say.
It's never been about, never been about the draft picking Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great kid. A lot of fun to work together. I love the coaching staff, love my teammates, love the fan base in Green Bay. It's incredible 16 years. It's just kind of about a philosophy, and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the thing go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way.
Okay, so we didn't get all of the answers, but he actually, I'll be honest, said a little bit more than I thought he would say. He'd been very silent up until this point. Pun intended, there's a lot to unpack here, gentlemen, from that interview. What do you make of what you heard, Triggs? I'm sure you picked apart every word.
I did. I got to first of all say shout out to Kenny Mayne, who pressed him. At first, it didn't seem like Rodgers was going to go there, and he said he doesn't want to talk about that. He's just there to not get fined. It was all clever, but Kenny Mayne's like, they're not here for a tribute video. They're here for some news, and I love that about Kenny. It wasn't about him. It was about, hey, we got Rodgers here. And to be honest, Rodgers seemed like he was so relaxed, so at peace, so zen-like now that he's been out in Hawaii for several days with his fiance and friends celebrating a wedding, and yet still didn't say, I'll be back. And he still didn't say, I'm okay to come back and have a conversation with Goody or Mark Murphy or whoever else. And I say it with a forlorn feeling this morning, because if he is at his ultimate relaxed state and he's singing karaoke and playing guitar, which is what we saw a video of over the weekend that came out on Instagram from someone else. I mean, if you're at that much peace with the off season and you're so relaxed and so comfortable, and he looks so happy right now, and yet still can't say, I'll be there, I'll be the quarterback day one. I still feel like we have a long way to go. Look, the Packers, they're opening up voluntary camps. First time in his career, he's not there. He's not a part of it. And as satisfied and fulfilled as he is, I know Packers fans have a pit in their stomach, because if he looks that happy and that content, and yet he's still not saying, even at that moment, that I want to be back and I'm going to be the quarterback week one and we will work things out and kumbaya and all the stuff around the bonfire that you would expect in that Hawaii setting, well, then I'm not sure we're ever getting this out of him. 16 years he's talking about and how good it's been. It felt like it was a little bit in the past tense. And he was in good spirits. He was happy, he was content, and it seemed like he was certainly confident with his words. But at no point did he give us a feeling that he's definitely going to be under center for the Packers on week one.
Peter's really painting a very zen picture this morning. I'm kind of like falling into a lull of what Peter's kind of bringing right now to all of this. But to me, really two things jumped out. The first one is the communication. And we've been told, over the years that this is an organization that is great at evaluating talent, that is great at drafting players. But there's always been issues, and this is coming from people that have worked inside that building, with people skills, with some communication aspects of it. And you saw Aaron Rodgers there hinting at it. This is a guy who is sitting there as the MVP, but also as a placeholder for Jordan Love. That's an interesting spot to be in, and a spot that probably needs to be massaged quite a bit by those in the front office. Remember, this is a situation to where he's not upset they picked Jordan Love. He said that there. But remember, The Vikings made sure Kirk Cousins knew in this past draft they were taking Kellen Mond in the 3rd round. I mean, the Broncos, and we'll talk about them later in the show, made sure they told Drew Lock that they were trading for Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock's played 18 games in the NFL, threw 15 picks last year, and the Broncos made sure that they let him know that they were going and getting Teddy Bridgewater. So the other part of this also is the timeline. And the timeline was put in motion when they drafted Jordan Love. Now, as he mentioned, the way he played, he threw a monkey wrench in that. He played at an MVP level. They maybe had a thought process, Sean, to where Jordan Love sits for 2 years, Aaron Rodgers plays 2 seasons, and then they move on. Well, the way he's played, he maybe wants some control over that timeline. And who wouldn't when you're looking at the MVP of the league doesn't really have a say or know where his timeline is within the organization. I think those are 2 main keys that he kind of hit there, and we'll see some more of what he said coming up later in the show.
Yeah, I think we're all pining for more. We want more. We want Aaron Rodgers to let us behind the curtain and tell us his plan and his timeline. And yeah, no doubt, it definitely had a Dalai Lama-like feel. You know, maybe it's the Pineapple Express down there in Hawaii that has got him in this comfortable state. You know, he's got a little Big Lebowski kind of feel going on too, man. Like, hey, you know, there's a lot of ins and outs and what have yous.
What day is it?
I think when you just look at Aaron Rodgers, like, let's just take a snapshot of this, all right? He's down in Hawaii for a wedding, and Kenny Mayne says, hey, man, I'm doing my last show. Would you be on it? Aaron Rodgers, no doubt, said, Kenny, I'll make it work no matter what. No matter what the time change is, 6-hour difference, I'll find a way to make this work. I'm going to do it. I think that shows the kind of person that Aaron Rodgers is, and he's talking about philosophy and people and treating people a certain way. And for him to stand up and do that for Kenny Mayne, kudos to him. I think for anybody that hasn't seen this piece, it's great theater. It's great to see Aaron Rodgers kind of getting pressed for an answer and finding a different way to answer it each time, but yet also he gave us a little bit, he gave us some nuggets about the big picture aspect of it. And he didn't make it about himself. He tried to make it about Kenny. And I thought a couple things that were pretty cool. Kenny did a great job of circling back. I thought Kenny put on a clinic as to how to give an interview with somebody that you're friends with and not ruin the friendship by pushing too hard. He gave Aaron the chance to clear the table. So there's a lot of things on your table right now. If you want to clear some of that stuff off right now, here's an opportunity. And James, I thought you mentioned it. The fact that he said, he called winning the Super Bowl MVP the monkey wrench that got thrown into this entire plan that started a year ago.
The MVP. That
to me was the biggest nugget in this whole thing. And the fact that he won the MVP and said, you know what, that kind of, that threw a monkey wrench in things tells me that he was thinking about shutting it down this year. And winning the MVP made him say, you know what, I played so well, I played so loose, so free that, you know what, I got to run it back another year. I think he was going to ride off into the sunset if he didn't win that.
Yeah, it reinforces that everything we've been talking about at the breakfast table, so many A blocks, so many minutes out of a 3-hour show, is in fact legitimate. He also sort of said it was the front office without having to say it was the front office. I love that he dished out respect for Matt LaFleur, who's sort of become this empathetic character in all of this that I think we all sort of feel for. He looks like he's stuck, and he's very transparent in his press conferences in this entire time, so I appreciate that. He talked about his teammates, he talked about the people. I'll also give him credit for not that he would, but escalating the situation. He didn't use the opportunity to make it worse, to demand something or whatever. That said, we still don't know what he wants. It's Ryan Gosling in The Notebook to Rachel McAdams. What do you want? I feel like he talked a lot about respect, Peter, in this. What does respect look like? Does respect look like a lot of beat writers in Green Bay are going to say it looks like a new contract? Is that the form? Or is it, making changes to the front office, which I feel like is a bit clearer now is an issue?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's looking for action necessarily. I think he's looking for that personal connection. He felt, going back to Curly Lambeau and going through Holmgren and going through Minister of Defense, he knows the history of the Packers, and it's always been a personal feel and a family feel. But the word he didn't use was business, and this felt like it was a business decision the past few years. from the Packers side. And now Rodgers is saying, hey, I wanted it to be a personal thing. I think he is in such a Zen-like, what'd you say, Dalai Lama-like mode right now that I think all things like chemistry and personality and people and chemistry matter a lot. And he felt like this thing wasn't handled that way. I don't know if there's any turning back. The way he was talking last night in that state, to not just come and say, and you know what, I'll be back there. Don't worry, we're going to be all good. I don't know. I feel like we're still a long ways off.
And there's still so much more of that interview that we will be showing you clips of, and we'll analyze it from every angle all day long.